Alright everybody, welcome back to FX Action Trader Weekly Market Analysis. So we are going to start a new month, a new trading month, and also a new trading week. And in this video, I'm going to share with all of you what could we expect from this first week of May. So let us have a look on euro dollar. So on daily chart, we can see that market is actually respecting to this daily resistance at 1.218, where we could see that there is a massive price rejection from this level. So if we go into H4, we can see that this might be an early sign of a trend reversal, which reversed from the previous buy trend to a downtrend. So where are the places, or what could we do in order to trade with this trend reversal, or this might be another trend continuation? So in order to trade this, we will need to identify the key level on our H4 before we place any trades. So on H4, we can again see that this is actually a support zone on H4, and we are not advisable to place a sell trade on a support zone. So in order for this EU trend to become a sell trend, or in order for the sell trend to be valid, I would prefer that market have another clear break below this support zone, and we are going to sell upon the pullback. All right. So these are the previous low, and we have about 287 pips of movement if the sell trend is valid, or else market might see another sideways at this support zone, and market is possible to retest again this previous resistance zone. So we will need to wait for a clear break below this support zone before we place any sell trade order. So let us have a look on the pound dollar. So on pound dollar on daily chart, we could see that market is again respecting to this resistance zone on daily chart about 1.393, or we can go into H4, and we can see that market is actually doing a sideways, after that followed by a downtrend formation. All right, this is a sideways movement. We can see that market moves sideways, and then market attempt to push up further, but we can see that market was not able to create a new high after this high was created, and we can see that there was a downwards movement and a new low was created. So let us have a look on this pair. All right, so market attempt to break this resistance zone here, right? But market did not able to make a new high level in order to continue the breakout uptrend, or in order to make this uptrend a valid uptrend. Market did not able to create a new high, but in fact we can see that market break back into this resistance zone and stay below the zone, and we can see that market move down in a very strong momentum and breaking the previous low. So from this movement, I'm still more bearish on this pair instead of bullish, as we can see that the trend line of this entire trend has been broken. So about the same thing on what we have discussed just now on euro dollar. We are going to wait for a pullback, and we are going to enter a short trade after the pullback is done. So let us have a look on the gold. So for gold, I think from last 2 weeks, I have already mentioned that for gold, I'm still bearish instead of bullish. So on H4, we can see a better chart formation about the bearish momentum or the sell signal, where we can see that market has actually formed a new support zone here around 1766, and we can see another possible head and shoulder formation whereby this is the right shoulder, sorry, the left shoulder, right? This is the right shoulder and this is the head. And this, don't forget that this is actually on a H4 time frame, and this, if this chart pattern is valid, we are going to see another massive drop for this yellow metal. So my final take profit area will be around this previous support zone, about 1730. So we are going to have about a 400 pips potential drop for us to have an eye on for this pair. So let us keep monitor this pair, and we are going to enter a sell upon a breakout of this support zone at 1766. So let us move to the yen pair. So on yen pair, last week we can see that from daily chart, market is in a very clear uptrend, but market was still staying below the daily resistance about 130 and 130.43. So on Tuesday, we see that there is a very strong and very solid breakout of this daily resistance zone, and market created a new high at 132.06. So on this week, we are still going to wait for a pullback around here, all right, around our Fibonacci level 50 or 61.8. We're still going to wait for a pullback, and we are going to continue to buy this pair as a trend trader. So let us have a look on AUD JPY. So on AUD JPY on daily chart, we can see that previously market was in a very strong uptrend, and market has now entered something like a sideways structure. All right, market was ranging between these two levels, but we are not going to sell this pair as market was in a very strong buying trend, or was in a very strong buy momentum before this ranging happens. So I'm going to wait for a clear break above the structure, a pullback, and then we are going to enter for a buy trade in order to trade along with the market trend. So let us have a look on EUR AUD. So EUR AUD is actually the opposite of what we have seen on the AUD JPY, whereby we have predicted that the Aussie dollar might go bullish, and we are going to see this Euro Aussie dollar to get weakened, and we are going to see a possible drop for this pair. So on daily chart, if we mark on our key levels, we can clearly see that market is actually on the daily resistance zone, and we can see that market has started to show us some sort like rejection here, where this zone is very strong, where market couldn't break through, and on H4 we can see that the buy momentum has slowed down upon market reach this zone. So on this week, we're going to wait for a sell signal. All right, this is the 1 hour time frame, and we are going to enter the sell upon the break of this trend line. All right, so for this Euro Aussie, we are still on a sell bias instead of a buy bias. All right, unless this resistance zone has been broken up, or else we are still going to keep our opinion or keep our view on a seller view. All right, we are still going to sell this pair, and we are not going to place any buy trade for this pair. So for the pound Aussie, the direction for the pound Aussie in direction wise is about the same on what we have just discussed on the Euro Aussie, where we are still remain bearish on this pair instead of bullish. So if we mark up our key levels, we can see the market has actually created the first downtrend movement where a new low has been created. So as long as market did not break above this daily resistance zone or daily key level at 180.03, we are still going to remain bearish for this pair. All right, and our final take profit area will be on the previous daily low at 1.725. So this could be a nice catch if we are able to trade this if we are able to trade this big move. All right, so the last pair for this week, dollar Canadian. So I believe that I have mentioned for a few times, I think not few times, I've been mentioned for quite many times on my video that we are still in a very strong bearish view for this dollar Canadian pair, as this pair has been in a very strong bearish momentum since last year. So on last week, we can see that we got a new low from on daily, where the previous daily low has been broken by a very strong bearish momentum candle. So on this week, we are still going to trade, or we are still going to sell for this pair, but we are not going to sell at this area, right? Because we are always wanted to sell at a higher price, as high as possible if we could catch it, and we are going to try to buy it as low as possible. So the first thing first, we have already identified the trend for this pair, meaning to say that we are still going to short this pair, and we have been told that from higher time frame we are going to remain bearish on this pair. So on our entry time frame, we are going to ask ourselves a question. So where are the best area I can look for a sell, or where is the best place that I can enter for a sell trade with minimum stop loss and maximizing my take profit? So from H4 chart, we can see that the nearest resistance zone is about here, 1.24180. So my first option, I'm going to wait for market to pull back to this area and go for a sell trade. So this is a first option, but do remember that market is always uncertain, and we could not just we have to always have a plan B. All right, so my plan B is we can just pull our Fibonacci and wait at 50 or 61% area for a sell setup to happen, and we are going to continue to sell this pair. So this is my option 1 at the resistance zone, and option 2 at the Fibonacci retracement area. So that's all for video on this week. So on this week, we are going to have the non-farm payroll for May. So if you wish to receive more updates regarding our daily trading or our day trading, please do join our Telegram group or Telegram channels for free. See you guys on the next video. Have a nice day.